Okay friends, so in previous lecture we have concluded that the two important factors for the operation of power system are economics and security. Economics of power system we have discussed in chapter 1 and chapter 2. How we can minimize the total operating cost of a power system we have discussed in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now here in this chapter we are going to discuss power system security. System security involves the practices suitably designed to keep the system operating when component fails. What it means, if suppose some load is there and to supply that load you are running some number of generator. Suppose some 100 megawatt load is there and to supply that 100 megawatt of load you are running 4 number of generator. And if suppose in that system, if one of the component fails, if suppose one of the generator failed or or one of the transformer failed, or I can take any transmission line failed, so what I expect, even my component is getting failed, my system should continue to operate. It should not stop its operation. If it is the case that even after failure of component my system is continue to operate, it means my system is secure. If my system is if it stop its operation, it means my system is not secure system. Okay. Second part, beside economizing on the fuel cost, my system should be operationally secure. How to economize on fuel cost or how to minimize the fuel cost, we know. We can minimize the fuel cost by different techniques, and those all techniques we have discussed already. So what is the second part? Beside economizing the fuel cost or beside minimizing the fuel cost, power system should be operationally secure. What is the meaning of operationally secure power system? An operationally secure power system is the one in which probability of a system blackout or system collapse or equipment damage is low. If suppose if I am telling that my system is operationally secure, it means that there is a very low or very less probability that my system may collapse. System collapse, you can refer that as a system blackout, or component or equipment are getting damaged. If suppose my system is operationally secure, there is a low probability that my system will have a blackout or the equipments in my system will damage. If my system is not operationally secure, it means that there is high probability that my system may experience blackout, collapse or equipment damage. Okay. Again, if suppose this equipment failure, if it continues in cascading manner, if suppose your generator is getting failed, if suppose one after another generators get failed, if suppose initially your first generator got failed, after some time your second generator got failed, after some time if your third generator got failed, so what this is referred to as cascading failure. And this cascading failure, if this continues, this will lead to complete system blackout, or this may result into your system's major part may get completely collapsed or it may get completely damaged. Suppose some number of generators are there. First generator failed. What will happen? On the load of that first generator will come on to the remaining generator, and because of this overloading condition, if suppose one more generator failed, so what will happen? The load of that second generator will come to running generators. Again, load on that running generator is increasing. So in this way, one after other, if suppose generators are getting failed, or if suppose transformer is getting failed, so if this failure or component failure, if it is continuing in cascading manner, what will happen? My complete system may get collapse, or the major part of my system may experience complete damage. Okay. So how we can achieve or how we can improve the system security? we have to work out on system security constraint. If we optimize this security constraint of the power system, we can achieve better security for the system. Okay, how what are those security constraints, or how to optimize those security constraints, we'll discuss later. Okay, so the next point is system security and economy normally have conflicting requirement. If you want your system to be secure, you will have to pay more. Okay, and if you want your system to be more economical, then you will have to consider on your system security. So security and economy both have conflicting requirement. Okay, so in order to operate the power system, as this economy and security both are the important factor for operating a power system, so what we are supposed to do, we should treat these two factors together. We should not treat them separately. This will be inappropriate. Okay, so we should treat these two factors, that is economy and security, in such a way that the final aim of the economy is the security function of your utility company. And please concentrate here. We should treat these two factors, that is economy and security, in such a way that the final aim of the economy, it should be security of your system, security of your power system. Okay, I hope you understood this point. Next point, the energy management system is to operate the system at minimum cost with guaranteed alleviation of emergency condition. The energy management system, what it has to do, it is supposed to do, it should operate the system at minimum cost, that is economy. Second one, with guaranteed alleviation of emergency condition. Alleviation means lowering the severity. If suppose some fault has occurred, it will have some severity level. So alleviation means system should lower the severity level of emergency condition. So how you have to operate your power system, how you should operate your power system, or how operator, or you can consider, or we can call this as energy management system, how it should operate. It should operate with minimum cost, as well as it should guarantee the alleviation of emergency condition. Emergency condition means faulty condition. Some fault has occurred, some generator got failed. What it will result? It will give it will cause load to shift on the remaining generator. So your system, it should alleviate this emergency condition. It will lower the risk of this emergency it should be able to lower the risk caused because of this emergency condition. Okay, now the emergency condition, again, it depends on the severity of the violation of the operating limit. Emergency condition, we can consider this as a component fail or some fault condition. Now again, this severity of this emergency condition is depending on the violation of the operating limit. Operating limit for the power system we can set as amount of power flowing through some branch, or bus voltage limit. We can set the operating limit for our power system in this way. And if suppose because of some emergency condition, because of some component failure, or because of some fault condition, what will happen, it is obvious that if one generator failed or some fault has occurred, the amount of power flowing through some branch or the bus voltage, it will change. So how much change is there in the amount of power flowing through some branch or the bus voltage, that will decide the severity of emergency condition. Okay, so the most severe violations result from contingencies. What is this contingency? Contingency is nothing but a future event that is going to occur or that is going to happen for sure, but we cannot predict it with certainty, with exact clarity. We cannot predict that. I know my generator may get fail in future, but I cannot predict when it is going to fail or what will be the failure. Okay, so this thing is referred to as contingencies. So what I am telling you that the most severe violations result from contingencies. Therefore, if you want to study the power system security, you should first understand your power system's ability to withstand the effect of these contingencies. You should first study the power system's ability, whether your power system is able to withstand these contingencies, whether your power system is able to withstand the effect of these contingencies or not. Okay, so in order to study the power system security, or I can say the important part of power system security moves around power system's ability. The important part of power system security moves around power system's ability to withstand the effect of contingencies. Okay, again, practically most of the power system, they are operated in such a way that single contingency will not create some much problem. Okay, so next point, the system security, it is comprising of three major functions. If you are providing security to your system, means you are providing these three major functions to your system. One is system monitoring, contingency analysis, corrective action. Okay, we will discuss these points one by one. System monitoring. In this, what we are doing, we are going to monitor the operating limits of our power system. Now what we can monitor here, we can monitor voltage, current flowing, or we can monitor circuit breaker condition, we can monitor switches conditions, we can monitor system frequency, we can monitor generator output, we can monitor transformer tap position, and all this monitoring we can do with the help of telemetry system. Why we are taking help of this telemetry system? Because this telemetry system, it can measure and transmit the data. Okay, my telemetry system, it can measure and transmit the data. If I want to monitor my voltage, I will use voltage telemetry. What this voltage telemetry will do, it will measure the voltage and it will transmit the data. Okay, so what we will do, we'll measure all these quantities and will transmit all this quantity to a digital computer. Which quantities we can monitor? We can monitor voltage, current flowing in some branch, power flowing in some branch, circuit breaker condition, switches condition, system frequency, generator output, transformer tap position. All these things we can measure, and all these things we can transmit. And all these things we can transmit to a digital computer. There we can store this data in the form of database, so that our monitoring will get easy, or we can have a record at what instant what was the voltage, at what instant what was the circuit breaker condition. Okay, so if we store this data in the form of database in some digital computer, we can access this data anytime. Again, this digital computer, it can again inform my operator if suppose one of this parameter is exceeding its limit. If suppose if it is violating its limit, my digital computer can alert or can give warning to system operator. So for that you can employ alarm or buzzer with your digital computers. Okay, again If you want to continuously display some important data, if you want to continuously monitor system frequency, and again if you want to display that system frequency, for that you can use a big displays, or you can mostly we use SCADA system for system monitoring. Okay, I hope system monitoring, this point is clear to you. Next point, that is contingency analysis. This is the second major security function. What we are doing in contingency analysis, modern operational computers have contingency analysis program stored in them. We are using some modern computers in which this contingency analysis programs are already stored. So what we can do, with the help of this modern computers, we can predict the contingency. Okay, we can predict the contingency, that is, this foresee possible system troubles before they occur. Foresee means prediction. With the help of this contingency analysis, with the help of some that modern computer, we can predict when the contingency is going to occur, and accordingly, because of this prediction, it is possible to trouble the system before contingency is going to occur. We can elaborate this in this way. If suppose what we can take an example like once you do this contingency analysis, after this contingency analysis, what we can inform to our system operator, we can inform outage event and potential of that contingency. What is the severity of the contingency? We can give this information to our system operator. Now, with the help of this information, what information we are giving? Outage event. Outage event means, suppose generator fail, your generator is getting failed. This is contingency analysis. When it is going to fail, this is outage event. Okay, so we are informing our system operator that when your generator is going to fail, and again what will be the severity because of this outage event. If we inform our operator this information, if we give our operator this information, what the system operator can do, it will be easy for him to locate a defensive operating state. It will be easy for him to locate defensive operating state. We are considering example of generator failure. If suppose some 5 number of generators are there and they are some load, and out of this 5 number of generator, if one of the generator failed, what system operator can do? He has to locate the defensive operating state. Now what he can do, whatever load is there on the generator 1, before it getting failed, what he can do, he can just shift the load of that generator 1 on remaining generator, and he will simply turn off that generator, so that we can avoid the failure of that generator. Okay, so based on this contingency analysis, what information we are providing to our system operator? Outage event, that is when your component is going to fail, and again severity of because caused by that outage. Okay, the third major security function is corrective action analysis. Okay, the corrective action analysis permit the operator to change the operation of power system if contingency analysis program predict serious problem in the event of occurrence of certain outages. Just I told you that what is the use of this contingency analysis? That is nothing but corrective action. If suppose after doing contingency analysis, if I come to know that out of 5 generators, we are taking example of 5 generator. If suppose out of 5 generator, 2 generators are getting failed, and this is causing a serious problem on my system. So what it will do, if I inform my system operator this condition, this will allow my system operator to change the operation of my he will now got the license to change the operation of your power system. He can change the operation of your power system. Okay, again this contingency analysis, what it is giving us, it is with the help of this contingency analysis or corrective action analysis, we can decide preventive as well as post contingency control. See, try to understand this point. With the help of contingency analysis or corrective action analysis, we can decide preventive as well as post contingency control. If suppose with the help of contingency analysis you got a prediction that generator is going to fail, for this outage event you can decide you can plan some preventive control as well as post contingency. After that generator got, if suppose that generator got failed, so after the failure of that generator you can decide some control, that is post contingency control. Okay, just a simple example already we have discussed to clarify this 2 point, that is contingency analysis and corrective action. A simple example for corrective action is shifting of generation from one station to another station. Okay, so these all are regarding power system security introduction. Basically what we have seen in this point, under the introduction of power system security, we have seen 2 important factors for operation of power system are economy and security. How we can achieve the economy we have discussed in first and second unit. What do you mean by power system security, we are discussing in this topic. Okay, apart from economical power system operation, we are expecting my system should be operationally secure. Operationally secure system means system which is having low probability of equipment damage or system collapse or system blackout. Okay, basically system security it is comprising of 3 major parts: system monitoring, contingency analysis and corrective action. You should monitor your system, you should do the contingency analysis, and based on the predictions that we got from contingency analysis we have to plan some corrective actions, or we have to analyze some corrective actions to minimize the effect of these contingencies. Okay, I hope this point is clear to you. If you have any doubt related to introduction of power system security, please raise your doubt in our PSOC Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Hello friends, now let us discuss system state classification. In previous lectures we have discussed introduction to power system security. Now we are going to see discussion for system state classification. A formal classification of power system security level was suggested and clarified in order to define relevant energy management system functions. In the figure shown, the arrow line represents involuntary transition between level 1 to 5 due to contingencies. You can see here different levels are shown. From level 1 to 5, the arrow lines which are shown, they are involuntary. Involuntary transition line transition. Involuntary means automatically, without any will. The removal of violations from level 4 normally requires energy management system directed corrective rescheduling or remedial action. See, if you want to remove the violations at level 4, you need to have EMS, energy management control system, corrective rescheduling or any remedial action in order to bring the state or bring the system from state 4 or level 4 to level 3, from where you can either return to level 1 or level 2. You can see the arrows here. See, from level 4 you can either go to level 3 or level we are going from level 4 to level 3 with the help of energy management system directed rescheduling or corrective action, and from this level 3 we can go to either level 2 or level 1. Okay, now let us in detail discuss this levels. The level 1, it is a secure level. If you see the image, it is given as all the load supplied, no operating limit violated. In the event of contingency, there will be no violations. See, this is a secure state. This state, we can call this as secure state. Whatever load is there, all the load is supplied. Whatever operating limits are there, no operating limit violation is there. And even if there is some contingency, it will not affect or it will not violate any operating condition. So this state or this level is referred to as secure level. So what do you understand with secure level? A secure level is the one in which all the loads are supplied, no operating limits violation. Even though contingency is there, in the event of contingency, operating limit violation will not be there. Okay, now get to the level 2, that is correctively secure level. This is level 2, correctively secure level. See here, if you refer this, it is given as all the load supplied, no operating limit violated. It is same as of level 1, all the load supplied, no operating limits violated. Any violation caused by contingency can be corrected by appropriate control action without loss of load. See, in level 2, what is the difference between level 1 and level 2? You can see here, in level 1 we don't need to give any corrective action in level 1, that is secure level. But in second level, that is correctively secure level, due to some contingency event, suppose some violations are there, in order to correct those violations, we have to give some control action. And again, in level 2 we are not losing any load, we are continuously supplying the loads. Okay, now the level 3, that is alert level. Here all the loads supplied, no operating limit violated. Some violations caused by contingency cannot be corrected without loss of load. See, try to understand the difference between level 2 and level 3. In first two level, that is secure level and correctively secure level, we are not losing any load. No doubt in level 1 we don't need any corrective action, but in level 2 we need some corrective action. Why do we need corrective action? Because some violations are there because of contingency. And in level 3, due to contingency, violations will be there, and in order to suppress those violations, what we have to do, we have to give some corrective action, and we cannot suppress those violations without losing the load. We have to lose some load. Okay, you can say that some load is there and some generators are there. If one of the generator fails, what you are supposed to do, if you want to get back your system to or if you want to suppress those violations because of that failure of generator, what you can do, you just give the load scheduling, whatever load was there on your first generator, that generator which got failed. Okay, so in level 3 we are losing some load in order to give some corrective actions. Okay, that is alert level. Okay, now let us go to level 4, that is correctable emergency. See, all loads are supplied here, but operating limits are violated. This can be corrected by appropriate control action without loss of load. See, even if from level 2, if suppose if your system is operating at level 2 and because of some contingency there is a possibility that again if you have not corrected the contingency in level 2, there is a possibility that your system may go into level 4, and because of those contingency what is happening here, even though all loads are supplied but operating limits are violated. Why operating limits are violating? Because of further more contingency. And how we can correct this violation of operating limit? This can be corrected by appropriate control action without loss of load. See, this is correctable emergency. Try to understand the difference between level 3 and level 4. You can go to level 3 from level 4. What is level 4? All the loads are supplied but operating limits are violated. This can be corrected by appropriate control action without loss of load. But if you are in level 3, all loads are supplied, no operating limits are violated. Some violations caused by contingency cannot be corrected without loss of load. Okay, so now let us go to level 5, that is non-correctable emergency. See, you will arrive to level 5 either from level 3 or level 4. See here in level 5 all loads supplied but operating limits are violated. Of course, because of contingency operating limits will get violated. This cannot be corrected without loss of load. See difference between level 4 and level 5. Level 4, it is we are applying some corrective action without losing load, but in level 5 we are losing load. Okay, so that is why it is called as non-correctable emergency, and level 4 is called as correctable emergency. Okay, now level 6, that is restorative level. Here no operating limits violated but loss of load has been suffered. See, level 5, if you refer, it is non-correctable emergency. What it means, even though all loads are supplied but operating limits are violating, and it is said that this cannot be corrected without loss of load. So what we are supposed to do, in order to make system more secure, or in order to suppress those violations, from level 5 you go to level 6, that is restorative level. If you are an EMS engineer, that is energy management system engineer, or you are the operator or dispatcher of the system, what you are supposed to do, if your system arrives at level 5, with the help of some corrective action, that is control action, shift your system to level 6, that is restorative mode. Here what is happening, no operating limits violated but loss of load has been suffered. What you can do here, you just cut off some load and you check where is the violation, and from that again if you apply further more corrective action, you can go to level 3, that is alert level, and from that level 3 by applying some rescheduling or remedial action, you can either go to level 2 or level 1. Okay, here level 1 and 2 represent normal system operations. Level 1 and level 2, if you see here, all loads are supplied, even though some violations are there because of contingencies, we are suppressing those violations without losing any load. So that is why these two levels are referred to as a normal power system operation level. But here level 1 is ideal security, but it is very much conservative and it is very costly. The power system in level 1 survives any credible contingency without relying on any post-contingency corrective action. See, if your power system is operating at level 1, it can survive any contingency without relying on any post contingency corrective action. See here, if you are operating at level 2, if your system is at level 2 and some contingency has occurred, okay, so what this contingency will do, it will violate your operating limit, and if you want to overcome or suppress those violations, what we are doing here, we are giving some corrective action. That is that corrective action, we can refer this as a post contingency corrective action. But if your system is running at level 1, that is secure level, so here you need not to rely on any post contingency control action. Okay, I hope you understood this point. Next thing, level 2 is more economical but depends on post contingency corrective rescheduling to alleviate violation without loss of load. See, level 2 as compared to level 1, it is more economical. Okay, again it depends on post contingency corrective action. The post contingency corrective action, it may be a rescheduling. Why we are going for rescheduling? To alleviate the violation without loss of load. We want to suppress those violations, we want to alleviate those violations without loss of the load. So within specified time period, and again it should be done within specified time period. Okay, so I hope you understood this point. So based on these 3 video lectures given to you for today, in Google Classroom I have created a quiz. You all are requested to go through that quiz, and you should submit that quiz by 1 p.m. today only. And most of the students, your remaining quiz submission is again pending. Okay, so all are instructed to submit those quiz as soon as possible. Okay, thank you very much.